Well, I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas and New Year. I haven't had a chance to say that yet with a couple of little things I've been doing, but hope you had a good one, and I hope 2020 is treating you well so far. I was planning on possibly doing a small video on a scorpion hunt. I don't know if you saw Sam from Bug Realms live they did quite recently. He said that we were going to go out and have a look for a species of scorpion that lives in Plymouth down by our dockyard on the walls there. But we went out last night and we couldn't find any whatsoever. It was very, very cold and we decided to come home. But instead I thought I would give you a few updates on some of these lovely guys that I have. First of all, I'm going to start with my Avik. If you remember when I first got him. My Avik is called Seven Socks. I have rehoused him recently. It was very simple, it was nothing really to see on the camera, so I just did it by myself anyway. And I got him from a spider shop order back in August, and I really didn't like the house that he was living in. I had him in just a small tub container with a piece of bark, and it was really simple, basic, and didn't look too great, so I thought I'd do a rehouse of him. But there's a little bit more news. This container that I put him in, it was a home for a really loved jumping spider that I got in a mystery box. The mystery box that I got was from the spider shop. It was a £60 GIMP mystery box with Sam from Bug Realms. We got that at the Eastern Invert Show in Bedford a while back. But really sad news that the jumping spider passed away literally 2 days after rehousing it into this container, and on first thought I blamed myself. I think that's quite a natural thing to do, blame yourself for something that goes wrong, but thinking about it, it was only with me for 2 days. I gave it everything it needed and was giving it time to settle into its new home and come home from work. I was checking it every day, come home from work, and it had passed away, and I was so upset because I was literally really pleased to get that little jumping spider in that mystery box. It made that box for me. So I think what I'm trying to say is I don't know what I could have done wrong within 2 days of having Spider home with me, but he did pass away and it was really unfortunate. But I still have him here. I still couldn't let go of that cute little face, so I'll show you him now before I show you Seven Socks in his new home. It literally was the sweetest thing. I just couldn't let go of that tiny little cute face. This is a spider that I would love to have again, so any upcoming shows I really will be looking for one. So I decided to reuse the container that the jumping spider was in, and Seven Socks was named Seven Socks because I ordered him and they didn't have the size of the one that I wanted. They gave me this one instead for the same price, and he came with 7 legs. So Seven Socks has now molted. He does have part of a leg back. It's not a full leg just yet. So I'm going to show you him now so you can see what his new leg looks like. And here's his enclosure. He has some bits to climb on, some plants. He's got the old acorn that was in there with the jumping spider. Little water dish at the top there, so it's easy to fill up. He's here on the side. He's got a bit of bark there he can hide behind. That's the piece of bark that was originally in his other enclosure, so it's got a bit of his webbing on. Here's the little dude. I really like him. He's such a darling, this one. He really is. And that little foot. Spaghetti leg. He is now Seven Socks with a spaghetti leg. Down here, if you can see, he has a tiny little leg. It does have a toe on the end, but it's not fully formed yet. He doesn't use it as a normal leg. It's not fully functional yet, but it's the start, and it actually really amazes me that they can do that. I think it's fantastic. So you can see where his normal little feet are. Here. They got those cute little toes on. And the one just down here. I don't think you can see my finger. It's got that tiny little toe. So there is 7 socks with his spaghetti leg. And I can't wait for his next molt now. Might be a little while off yet, but I'm excited still anyway. So that was 7 socks with a spaghetti leg. Hopefully on the next molt, he might be just socks again. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So excited. So the next one is Killibrachys discolus. This one I also got in a mystery box. The mystery box was from Portsmouth Tarantulas, and me and Sam shared that one from the BTS in May. This is the one and only Killibrachys species that I have ever owned. I have quite enjoyed it, apart from the fact that I don't see it very often. But there is one particular time I did see it. It was right out in the open. It was only a few weeks ago. And with it being winter, my heating's been on quite a lot, and the heating dries out the air in here. So with that, I have had to be a lot more vigilant, and with the topping up of water bowls and making sure that most of them have the humidity that they need. But it seems that wasn't enough for our Killibrachys discolus. And I found the Killibrachys discolus out in the open in a death cow, and I was petrified. I did what I could to moisten down the enclosure, put plenty of water in there, but he seemed to move away from any of the water I put in there. Probably frightened him a little bit in his delicate state. So I was headed for a shower and decided to get the humidity up. I would take him into the bathroom with me. I headed out that evening, and when I came back, he was still out and about, moving a lot more than he was, definitely not as curled up as he was, and then he eventually moved back down into his little burrow. But I was a little worried quite recently. He's quite responsive to things going on with his enclosure. Usually probably thinks it's food, and you can see a lot of movement coming from his burrow. You can see him come towards the entrance of the burrow. And I hadn't seen a lot of movement in there recently, and I was worried once again. So me and Sam took a little better look inside, and this is what we found. So here's my enclosure for him. And don't worry, I'm not being daft right now. He is not actually in here, but we took out some of his planting and stuff that we've had in here for a while. He did make a burrow down the back, and if you saw my first rehousing, I did put this skull inside for him, and it's got a hole in the back, and he used to crawl inside here. That hole was leading to a burrow that come up and out the top of the substrate. And we found him inside here. Wasn't moving, wasn't quite sure if he was going to move, if he was playing a sneaky one on us. So we were very careful by dealing with him, and thought we might be able to entice him out, but we had no luck. And this is what we found next. My Killibrachys discolus had passed away. I thought maybe it was the lack of humidity like a few weeks before. Still very unsure of how exactly he has died, but what we do know is, after looking at him, if I move him around slightly, on the front of his pedipalps, you can see there he has some hooks. Now this is something new that I've learned, that he has these. Not all the tarantulas have tibial hooks. He doesn't have those at all on his legs. He has these here, which I never knew. So he was a mature male. If I'd known sooner, I may have been able to get him a female. He's not really that much of a size. You can see he's not like really huge or anything for a mature male, but he definitely was. Such a shame. It was lovely to keep him, and now I'm a little unsure of what to do with him. I was thinking possibly of having a go at preserving him myself. Maybe something similar to what Dead Set Co did for my Carabana Versicolor Dave. I'm gonna have to have a think about it, so I'm gonna pop him in the freezer just to keep him kind of fresh, because he's still able to move him at the moment, so we'll have to see about that. So that's just a few things that have been happening with my collection recently. Coming up this year, I hope you've all got some wonderful things planned, because I like to keep myself busy. I like to be always doing something. I have already a few things coming up this month. I have my 1-year anniversary of getting my first tarantula and starting up my YouTube channel. My first video last year was released on the 14th of January, and that was the day before my birthday. So I also have my birthday coming. So I want to do a little video about my 1 year here with my collection and with you guys. Also have the Southeast Arachnid show coming up. You might know it as SEAS. I've never been there before. I have got the time off and I will be going, but more on that in just a couple of weeks' time. I'll let you know a few more things about what I've got planned for the show. Let me know in the comments what your plans are this year. Have you got anything nice coming up? I also have a holiday coming sometime this year with my sister. Very much looking forward to that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my video today. Thank you all very much for coming along and joining me as always, and I'll see you next week. See you later. Bye.